Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you 5 useful tips for Adobe Muse users. So these tips will help you while designing your website. So first tip is about anchor links. So when you decide to use anchor links in your template, we recommend you to place the anchor links outside the workspace, okay? Place it here in the gray area. The reason is that sometimes this might cause some problems. You might get like a blank space here on the sides of your template, a blank space that actually when you're designing does not exist. Okay, so second tip is that there's an option called hide in breakpoints. So when you're designing a responsive website, sometimes you have to decide how to relocate elements, or even sometimes you have to hide them in certain breakpoints. So this is how you do it. I'm gonna get them this image here of the shark, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click, and here you have hide in breakpoint and hide in other breakpoints. So what happens here is that if I choose hide in breakpoint, it means that it will hide in the 1400 breakpoints, but it will be visible in the other rest. Okay, so I'm gonna click on hide in breakpoint. It disappears, but let's go through the others, and the shark is still there. Okay, I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna right click and click on hide in other breakpoints. So it's visible here, but now it's hidden in other breakpoints. So you can do this with any graphic element or text boxes, but you also can do this with a widget. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how it works with the widget library. Okay, so let's make this. I'm gonna hide this in other breakpoints. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna add some from the widget library. I'm going to add, let's place a Facebook like here. Alright, so this is a widget that comes in Adobe Muse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. So once I've placed this, just imagine like now it's still visible in both elements overlay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide it in the 1400 breakpoint. If you want it visible in the rest of the breakpoints, well, actually you have to place it correctly. Bring it here and bring it here, but we don't want it visible in the 1400, so I'm gonna right click and hide in breakpoint, so it will be visible in the rest of the breakpoints except for the biggest one. Hide in breakpoint. It's actually disappeared, and it's visible in the rest. So remember, you can do this with any graphic element, any text box, and you can do this with widgets too. Third tip is that you can format the text in the different breakpoints. So I'm going to select the text here, and I'm going to open the tools, and I can see the size is 36 points. So what you can do is actually, like, these 36 points will look good in the bigger breakpoints, but when you go to the smaller breakpoints, you might want a smaller size. There's an option that where you can edit all you can format the text and it will affect all the breakpoints, or you can format the text and it will only affect a certain breakpoint. So for that, we're going to this column over here on the left, and normally this is selected, the 4 capital T's, and says format text across breakpoints. So if this is selected, whatever you do, it will affect all the breakpoints. So for example, let's say that I'm going to bring this up, and let's say I'm going to bring it up to 40. Okay, so it's a little bit bigger. So now you're going to see how it is. So I'm going to keep this this text box selected. So you're going to see how size is bigger, size is 40 in all the breakpoints. Okay, I'm going to bring it back to normal 36. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the single capital T here. So this means that this will only affect the breakpoint, the current breakpoint. So I want this text here in this breakpoint, okay, the 768. I want this to be let's say smaller, and I'm going to bring it down to 30, for example. And I'm going to center it and bring it down here. Okay, so to see how it works, let's go to bigger breakpoint, and this should be 36. 1200 still 36, 1000 still 36, and here's where the text formatting should change. Great, so it's 30 and I've centered it. Okay, now we're going to continue with the fourth tip. So there's an option called copy size and position, or copy text formatting. So I'm going to use these two elements here. So as I've done before, what I've did is I formatted in this breakpoint a text box. So what I can do, if we go now to the 480, which is a breakpoint lower than 768, it has the same size as the other ones. Or I just don't want it, because what I want to do is I want to get it similar to this one. The formatting, I want it similar to this one, similar or exactly the same. So what you have to do is you have to click on the element, right click on it, and here you have copy text formatting to. You can choose to all breakpoints, or you can choose the specific breakpoint. So in this case, I just want the text format to be in this lower breakpoint. Just want these two to be similar. The rest are okay being in 36 points, but I want this to be smaller. So I'm going to click on 480. Let's go back here. Great, and so what I'm going to do is you're going to right click and you're going to click on copy size and positions to 480, sorry. And if you see, it's copied the box exactly in the same size and position as this one, as the one before. So you can play with the copy text formatting and copy size and position to other breakpoints, because when you relocate the elements, you can copy how you've designed each breakpoint or how you've moved every element. So it's actually faster for you to relocate or hide in smaller breakpoints. So in this case, it's already copied here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move it a little bit down, and I'm just going to readjust the text box inside the lines, and that's it. And you can do this with the text box, or you can do this with graphic elements too. Just imagine, like here in the bigger breakpoints, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down just to show you how it works, okay? I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to make this slightly bigger. All right, just going to move the elements a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave it here. So I'm going to select these elements, right click, and say copy size and positions to the 1200. All right, and I'm going to copy text formatting to the 1200 pixels breakpoint. So what's going to happen is that when I go click on the 1200, you will find this design, not the previous one. Yep, exactly. So now here, if you still wanted this design, just move the elements and just relocate them. Our last tip is a solution to fix a viewport problem. Viewport is the user's visible area of a web page. The viewport varies with the device, and it will be smaller on mobile phones than on computer screens. So sometimes when you're designing, you can see a blank space on the sides of your website. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to preview this site in Google Chrome. So here's my site. I'm going to right click and inspect. So right now nothing's happening, but this problem normally happens in smaller breakpoints. So I'm going to change the 1000 pixels to 600. So I'm going to drag the size. So this is the blank space that I'm talking about, this white space. So if this happens, this means that there's a problem with the viewport. So to fix this problem, you just have to add a code to your page properties. So I have my code here. You just have to copy and paste it. And you can find this code in the blog post, and the link to the post is in the page description. So you just have to copy it. Go to page properties. And here in metadata, In HTML, you just have to paste the code here and click on OK. So if you preview the page, I'm going to save it first, and if you preview the page, the problem should be fixed. So right click and inspect. So it's already in a small breakpoint, and see, nothing happens now. So this means it's fixed. Okay, so hope these 5 tips are very useful for you. Thank you very much for watching.